Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time today. As per my introduction, I work in the One Commercial Partner Enablement team, and my primary job is to help provide resources and tools to help partners not only get skilled up and trained with Microsoft on our technology, but also to learn about the opportunities that our new solutions and opportunities provide, what customer opportunities they provide, and how adopting practices around some of our core Microsoft solutions can be very profitable for you. So one of the things I also help create, and if any of you are familiar with them, is our practice development playbooks. But a big tool that we've launched widely a little more than a year ago was this Partner Transformation Readiness Assessment. And the goal of this assessment, slides to advance here, is to help partners before you can start to build a new practice or get started with building a new practice. One of the really important things to do is to take a self-assessment of where are you at from a capability standpoint right now. That way you can, as you start to move into a new area of business or a new practice, you have a pretty good sense of where you're at right now and to get an idea of where you might need to invest some additional resources or time. So what this assessment does, it's an online assessment. It's open to all partners. All that's required is you submit a company name and an MPN ID number. We don't collect personal information in this tool. We just track MPN ID so that we can record the events on the assessment on a dashboard that can be used, as we'll talk about, over time. So the idea here is that you can come back later, say 6 months, a year from now, retake the assessment based on sort of changes or updates you make, so that the idea here is that you can sort of see over time as you evolve your business where your capabilities have evolved. So that's why we record this information. So what are we measuring? Yes.
Dennis, excuse me, sorry for interrupting. It would be possible to show your slide in full presentation mode instead of.
That better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
So what does this do? It assesses, it asks a series of questions. Once you log into it, it asks a series of questions about your business and technical capability. Because when we think about partner capability, technical skill is a huge component of it. But it's really important, especially as you're starting to build and grow a cloud business, that you really are thoughtful and have the right resources and skill sets in place from a business capability, thinking about your cloud strategy, your sales and marketing capabilities, and sort of your business model. It takes you roughly 75 questions. They are multiple choice, but they give you ranges. So it's not a open-ended questions. We give you sort of ranges, and they are weighted based on slightly. So we give slightly more weighting to technical capability versus business. And once each answer or option is roughly given a maturity score. So depending on what the answer to the question is, how we start to determine what your overall cloud maturity is. So as you complete the assessment, you answer all the questions. Then once you get to the end of it, we provide a score. And what this Partner Transformation Index score, which is where the acronym PTI comes from, shows you where you sit in comparison to other partners in the ecosystem. So where you sort of sit in terms of business capability and technical capability, and partners who sit in the upper right quadrant are what we would call next generation. So that means they're very advanced in both business and technical capability. And so that's sort of like the magic area to be in. But as always is the case with all partners and all, especially in practice areas, it's that maybe you could be a little bit stronger in your technical capability, but need a little more work on the business side, or vice versa. So once you get that score, we also provide to you a series of recommendations. So high-level recommendations based on that score, that here are things you should go take a look at and review that can help you start to grow your business with Microsoft and potentially improve that score. You'll also notice, so you'll see this, there's this recommendation on resources you should leverage. We're constantly updating these, but in full transparency, they're not totally customized specifically to you. That is something we're working on, but it gives you a rough idea that based on that sort of score level, what are the kinds of resources we have available that can help you. The next, you'll also notice a tab that talks about detailed results, and that's where you can go in and see a breakdown of where each of the core areas of the PTI. So like as I mentioned, in business capability, we talk about cloud strategy or sales and marketing. In technical, we'll talk about cloud tooling. You will see a breakdown of where your score where you compare with other partners in each one of those 6 categories within business and technical. And you'll also be able to get a complete rundown of all the answers you gave. Again, the point of this is it's not trying to say that you're good or bad partner. The tool is intended for you to use as in your business planning and thinking ahead as you're starting to develop a new line of business or starting to work with Microsoft. So where are your capabilities right now, the moment in time, and then where are areas that potentially you could go work on to sort of move into a new practice area, or where you might have some gaps in terms of technical skilling or capability. The idea here, as I mentioned, is that once you complete the assessment, you can use this and then go work with your internal teams to start building a plan to how you can start to increase that capability, and then how we can leverage some of the resources that we provide to you to help you do that. And again, it's a moment in time. It's where you're at right now, which is why we really recommend that you don't just do this once and then never again. As you start to make changes and improve your skilling or add some new services, it's really a great idea to go back and take it again, so you can start to see how you're starting to progress against the rest of the ecosystem. We just launched, as it happens, a new video in the last week or so, where Mark Stroud, who works at Neural Impact, we work with Neural Impact a lot on helping us with practice development content and some resources on how to think about evolving practice development. I can post in the chat window once I finish the presentation, where you can go get these videos, because they're actually really great for you to think about, especially if you're finding that maybe you need a little more help with sort of business capability and thinking more about the business side of a cloud business practice. Amazingly great videos. So this introductory video, it's roughly 22 minutes long. It takes you through the assessment and talks to you about why we ask these questions, what the intention is for this, and how you can make this an actionable tool for you. Again, it's great for us to know where our partners sit in terms of capability, but at the end, this tool is developed for you to help you take an assessment of where you're at and where you might need to do some additional effort. The other really big piece of recommendation I have for you is, as you're taking this assessment, what we have found is that since it's an open tool, Lots of people from different roles within an organization will see it and go take it. So maybe your chief technical officer may take it and have one point of view of where they think your business is at. Your sales and marketing lead may do it and have a different view, or you know, your CEO or your company lead may do it and have a completely different view. So what we'll notice is that we'll have, say, multiple people within a company take the assessment, and the score will skew a little differently depending on the point of view of the person who takes it. So what we really recommend is that if you're going to go through this, it would be a really good best practice to bring your leadership team together and go through the assessment and answer the questions as a group, so it can turn into a discussion, so you all can level set collectively how you think you where you sit in these areas. And again, as I mentioned, really the best recommendation is to take it, you know, 4 to 6 months after the initial assessment to see where you're at. And then maybe as you do your annual planning, quarterly planning, whatever your planning cycle is, that maybe to incorporate it in and to do it on a regular basis. So you just can sort of keep, again, a tracking of where you're at right now. The other thing to know is that in the last few months, we've made some improvements and updates to this. As I mentioned, we changed the weighting a little bit to weight it more towards technical, but also we've updated the questions and the answers to make it more inclusive of all partner types. When it launched more than a year ago, it was very services focused. What we wanted to do is make sure that we were addressing all partner types, and so that we can help all partners, whether you're ISV, you're doing services, you're systems integrator, whatever your business model is, the question should be able to apply to you, and you're not getting weighted poorly or scored poorly based on what your business model. It's really supposed to be more focused on what your capability is. And I had another thought a second ago and whoop, just disappeared. So that's a big part of it. There's also a significant section in there where we ask questions about solution areas. Obviously, Microsoft is very focused on, you know, our core solution areas across our 3 clouds. But we do that more, you know, just sort of for you to get a sense of where you're at in the Microsoft stack of solutions and offerings. Where are you dabbling in? Which areas are you focusing on? Where do you have capability, and where are you actively working with customers, whether it's in Azure or modern workplace, so Teams or data and AI, whatever it is. Those questions are more informational, and for you to just sort of take a look at where you are across the Microsoft stack. But those questions are not weighted. So we don't score you more strongly because you're an Azure partner compared to being a Dynamics partner. That those questions do not get assessed a weighting, because we're not trying to favor one Microsoft product set or cloud over the other. It's much more for you to just see where are you actively working and where are you engaging with customers. The other thing to keep in mind, we've posted the URL to access it. It's available on the partner website. It's going to be incorporated, I think, starting later this week into our lifecycle emails. So as people join the partner program, we'll be asking them to take this assessment as they join. But it's like I said, it's an open tool. All you have to do is access the web page and you can start taking the assessment. We also have a feedback email. So if you encounter any issues or you have questions or you have feedback about how we can make it better, or where you see there's some improvements we can make, we love suggestions from our partners. Again, this tool is designed to help you. And that's why the more we can make it better, the more feedback we get from partners on how we can improve it, the better. One other thing I will tell you is it comes up a lot where we do get feedback from partners to say, hey, this is hung up, it's not working, I can't get it to move on, is that it, sometimes partners will accidentally miss a question or forget to answer a question. If you don't answer all of the questions, that it will not advance or you won't be able to submit it. So just be careful as you go through it to make sure you answer each question. And that is the bulk of my presentation here. So with that, I would love to open this up to questions if you have any. Silence is golden, or confusing, or bored.
I'm looking in the chat to see if there are any questions. I don't see currently any, but if any of you...
Yeah, I'm going to go look for those business development videos while I'm...
Sure, if anyone has questions, just feel free to unmute your microphones and ask away.
The other thing to keep in mind, we've created an entire page on the partner website that's focused on practice development and how to enhance business. And it's called our Build a Practice page. So from there, you can access the PTI. You can access you can access these business development videos I referenced. You can access our practice playbooks. All can be accessed from this single page. Oh, great job there. See, I'm glad I answered that question for you because, like I said, that is one that comes up. If you miss a question, you will it won't submit. So, yay! I'm glad you were able to go back and do that. It's easy. The interface, it's easy to skip some sometimes. So, that's another design feature that we're working on. Is how do we call out when you more obviously if you miss a question. But I highly suggest you take a look at that video that Mark did specifically on the PTI, because it goes very much into depth about the assessment and how you can use it in your business planning more deeply than I was able to go through this quickly.
And Denise, I see a question. So someone took the survey before the meeting and it would not accept the submission. Are there any particular requirements to have the submission accepted?
Well, I think we just addressed that because he went back in. If you look down, and he said that he went back and he missed a couple and answered them, and now it's working fine. So.
Oh, that's the sixth question. Line. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunately it's a common one that's come up. Most of it when we do get email on that feedback alias, it's usually about, hey, this won't submit, it's hung up, and it's usually go back and make sure you answered all the questions.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you for a presentation. It was super sharp.
I'll put my contact information for those of you on the call. If you have specific questions about the tool, please don't hesitate to reach out. That is my job.
And also we have a next event on September 29th with you, Denise, talking about also the partner transformation readiness assessment. So looking forward to that.
Thank you. I look forward to it as well.
Thank you. And I think we're at time, so I will conclude this recording and post it on the Microsoft Partner community to be consumed on demand. So thank you all for joining and wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.